Okay, good morning, everybody. What is today's topic on Coffee and Questions? We're going to talk about the Harbor Freight 9-inch angle grinder, and we're going to kind of review it. And I got a friend of mine, he loves Harbor Freight. I mean, he buys all kinds of stuff out there, and he really wanted to try the 9-inch angle grinder. And I told him, look, you need to read the reviews. This thing's not that great, and there's a lot of reasons. But he insisted he wanted to buy it. He went out and he got it, and I decided, well, I'm going to go over and take a look at this monstrous thing because it sounds to be awful big. And I'm going to change the picture here in a second. I'll give you the ad, and then we'll continue the discussion. So he went out, he got it, he brought it home, he unboxed it, and he was all excited about it. And so this is what it looks like. Let me change the picture, and we'll continue the discussion. Okay, so these are the ads off of the Harbor Freight website. 9-inch angle grinder, adjustable guard, makes easy work, tough jobs. 15 amps, 6,000 RPMs. And you see it sells for $64.99. Now, with a coupon, I suppose you can get it down around 50 bucks. And so a friend of mine decided, hey, this is a great buy. So this is the reason why he went ahead and bought it, in spite of the fact I told him, you might not want to do that. And yes, it's got the trigger lock. It has what they call a rotating, rear handle on one of the models. I don't know if it's a particular one in the picture, but there's still, we're still talking about the 9-inch grinder here. So anyway, I stopped by, I would take a look at it and see what it looks like. Now, first of all, this thing's big, and it's heavy to hold. And I couldn't imagine, like, if I have a long project I'm working on that I really want to be using this, because my 4.5-inch angle grinder would be a lot easier to handle, work with, and hold for long periods of time. So my first criticism is it's heavy. My second rationale is why 9-inch? I mean, I don't have a specific reason for wanting a 9-inch round grinder, but I still wanted to look this over with him. I mean, you could easily get away with a 7-inch one, and it would probably do whatever job that you were thinking about doing. So you don't, in my opinion, you don't necessarily need a 9-inch round grinder. And I'll try to remember to throw up a picture later. I have a Bosch, a 7-inch round grinder. I've had it for more than a decade. It still performs, I said, perfect. And I don't use it that much. I use mostly 4.5 and 5-inch angle grinders in all of the hobbies and all the projects that I do, and it works fine for me. So I don't know. I mean, this thing's heavy, like I said, and when we took it apart and we went ahead and we hooked it up and we plugged it in and let it run, we were using it on a piece of steel, and I told him, I said, did you read the comments and the criticisms about this? He said, no. I go, okay, feel how hot this thing's getting. You could feel the cord itself was warm, and the housing of, this grinder, you can feel it warming up really quickly. And so we stopped using it for a minute, and I took a look at it, and when you look at the spindle, the shaft on this, I noticed there was a little bit of a wobble to it, and I pointed it out to him, and he's like, oh, wow. So stopped what we were doing, and I had some errands to run. He went back out, he got another one. Just like a lot of people in these reviews, they kept returning them, and they kept trying it again. Well, anyway, he brought it back, we tried it again, he heated it up, and it kept heating up, and you see some sparks in it occasionally on the inside of the motor housing, and I was like, I just don't think that this is that good of a deal. I don't think it's that good of a grinder. What do I think? I think you should take it back. I think you should get your money back. I think that you should add another $100 when you have it and get yourself a damn good, probably a 7-inch one would be maximum if you really want and need that big of a grinder. But I'm not so sure you do if you think about it. But he decided he's going to keep it and try it just a little bit longer. Well, it failed, and he did end up having to take it back. Now, lucky for him, he had got the warranty while he was out there. And I would encourage you, if you're going to buy this, get the warranty, because you're going to end up returning it. I guarantee you, this thing is not that well made of an angle grinder at all. Let's just jump right to questions and answers, because there were some questions that people threw out at me. One of them is, well, what did you do when it heated up? Well, that's easy. Common sense says, stop using it. And so we stopped, we let it cool down, but the moment that I went back to using it again, this thing started to heat up again. So I just don't think it's a good grinder at all. Next question. Well, one of them says the bushings are easy to replace. There's a screw and they sell them. And hey, every 3 to 6 months or less, you should change, the bushings out. That Bosch and all my little angle grinders, I've never had to change them out, let alone in like 3 months. You got to be kidding. So, again, that speaks for the quality of this. I just don't think the quality's there. If you have problems with it, who's going to repair it? I don't know. I don't know anybody that'll work on these, to be honest with you. And Again, you know, my Makita, I have a Makita, I got a Dewalt, and I got a Bosch. I mean, different angle grinders, and I've never had an issue with any of those. And all I read about in these reviews is tons and tons, I mean, lots of them. You can go check it out yourself. There are so many complaints about using this, it's incredible. So what are some of the complaints? Well, the sparks come flying out the housing. Yeah, that's true. That happened to us. The spindle can be bent. Yeah, that happened to us too. Well, what are the other ones? They make horrible noises when you start them up, like something's grinding inside. Well, that's not good. I mean, there's obviously something wrong with it. It shuts off periodically during use. Sometimes it doesn't want to start, so people take it back. Sometimes it does, and it shuts itself off again. Well, that's not good either. One of the readers said it constantly pops his breaker. Well, that could be he's got it, you know, I don't know, maybe the wrong, you know, maybe he has it hooked up wrong and it's popping the breaker, or maybe the breaker's too small. I don't know what the issue is there, but, you know, there was somebody complaining about it. So the switch breaks on them real easily, I'm told, and, you know, in a lot of the reviews. And so the other thing that really frustrated me, I didn't stick around, is he ended up making 3 trips before he finally returned this and called it done. Look at the waste of time. If you were going to spend the day-to-day working on a project or doing something, and you have to keep running back and forth to exchange or to try to trade this thing back, I mean, you got to be kidding. It's just, I don't know. It's not worth it to me. I wouldn't use it personally. Well, it's just a recommendation. I'm not telling you what to go buy. There's lots of good angle grinders out there, but let me throw up some pictures and I'll show you some of the ones that I own. Okay, like I said, I don't see a reason to want anything that's 9 inches. I've got the 7-inch one, and I don't use it that often. It's rare. I have run across times where I've used it on very large projects. Other than that, I don't use it that much. But this is a picture of the Bosch. Of course, I didn't pay the $190 for it. I had gotten it from a friend that no longer wanted it or used it, and I bought it from him real cheap, but it's the same one as in the picture. So let me change the picture and I'll show you the other ones that I use. Now, before I change the picture, Makita also makes a 7-inch grinder, as well as that Bosch. So you had a price point of $200, this one's $149. You're going to spend $65 without the coupon, somewhere in there, for the other one. This is the reason why I said save up another $100, buy a damn good one if you really feel that you need that 7-inch. Makita makes one. I got one more to show you, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, now here's one that's made by Dewalt, $149. Again, save up the money, buy a damn good quality one. Nothing wrong with Dewalt, nothing wrong with Makita or Bosch. I'm sure that there's others out there. My point is, for a little bit more money, you can get an incredibly well-made quality tool, and not this Chicago Electric. I mean, it is just not my one of choice at all. Okay, so I changed it up here, and I put up all 4 pictures. Like I said, there's many other grinders out there, I'm sure, that equally is good in quality. These are my favorites. These are the ones that a lot of people use, but I wouldn't even waste my time on this Chicago Electric. Okay, so my overall take on this thing is it's not worth $65, and even if you got the coupon, it's not worth $50. I wouldn't buy it, I wouldn't touch it. There are tons of problems. You're not going to be happy with it. I think the thing's total junk. I think you should save up your money, even if you got to look for on Craigslist or somewhere else, and buy it used. As long as you know it's a good quality running, you know, angle grinder, you're going to be much happier. I can get away using my 4.5 and my 5-inch angle grinder for almost everything that I do. I don't need 9-inch. If I needed something larger, I'll go back to my 7-inch Bosch, which you see up here in the picture. I've also given you pictures of the Dewalt and the Makita, and you can see, let's say it was $50 even. For another $100, you can end up owning a Dewalt or a Makita. That's my review on this. I would tell you don't buy it. Anyway, I'm the Home Handyman. Thank you folks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. And don't forget to click subscribe, and we'll keep doing more and more of these reviews as I get time. Thank you. Bye-bye.